In this episode of our CEO Daily Routine series, we're diving into the life of one of the most iconic tech leaders of our time, Mark Zuckerberg. As the co-founder and CEO of Meta, Mark has engineered not just social networks, but also a high-performance daily routine. By doing so, he's been able to balance intense professional demands with physical performance and his personal commitments. This is something that so many CEOs and leaders struggle to do. So in this video, we're going to dive into how he structures his days so that you can get some ideas about how you can do the same. If you're new here though, my name's Byron Morris and I'm the author of The Effective CEO 2.0, and on my channel I put out videos on everything from mindset to leadership and becoming more effective in your role. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos. Now, unlike many of the CEOs we've talked about in this series, Mark is not part of the 5 a.m. club, and instead he chooses to start his day around 8 a.m. Rather than easing into the morning though, he spends the time intentionally on his phone where he's checking updates across Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. This is his way of staying connected with the global news and developments across Meta's ecosystem. By doing so, he's able to check the pulse of the company at a macro level, and the insights he gains set the tone for the rest of the day, as he's able to see if there's any immediate problems that need his attention. After his top-level check-in, he then transitions his morning to physical training, where he engages in jiu-jitsu and mixed martial arts 3 to 4 times a week. He's spoken a lot about how these practices help him build resilience, sharpen his mental focus, and push his physical limits, which is why they're a central part of his routine. They're also great for building discipline and an outlet for stress to help him disconnect from work, as it's hard to worry about everything else you need to do when you're trying not to get punched in the face. Post-training, he then has a shower and breakfast, where his morning meal, like many of his other routine decisions, is simple and unstructured. This is a repeating trend in how Mark approaches life, where he aims to avoid mental fatigue as often as possible, especially in the morning. The reason he does this is research suggests that the average person makes 33 to 35,000 total decisions each day. These include everything from what to eat to what to wear, what we'll say and how we'll say it. All of these decisions drain our mental bandwidth, which is why Mark aims to protect that as much as possible, especially when it comes to daily decisions that are inconsequential. This in turn gives him the bandwidth for the choices that actually matter, and it's how he stays sharp and focused. It also explains why you always see him wearing the same thing, consisting of a grey t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers, as like his simple breakfast, it's another thing he doesn't need to think about or make a choice on. This is all about efficiency, as one less decision equals one more mental win. After he's got ready, it's then time to shift to work mode, and his workday at Meta isn't just intense, it's structured to the minute. He averages 50 to 60 hours of work a week, and every day is organized to drive impact and productivity. To do so, he defends his mornings for focused work, whether it's deep thinking, product development, or long-term strategy. The reason he does this is, like most people, his mornings are the time when his energy is at its peak. So he wants to ensure that he's using it to tackle big picture challenges. If you've read my books or watched other videos on my channel, you'll have seen me talk about this a lot, as one of the biggest mistakes I see people making is they allow their mornings to get consumed by fires, meetings, and tasks that don't drive growth. This is why, despite being busy, they'll often look back feeling like they didn't move anything forward, or when they do get to their high priority tasks, they don't have the bandwidth to execute on them at the level they could or need to. This is why, if you want to be highly effective in your role, the best thing you can do is defend your mornings to focus on your top level high value work. That's how you can ensure you're balancing your long-term goals and objectives with the everyday short-term problems that come with running and building a business. Another big time management and leadership tip you can learn from Mark is he prepares meticulously for meetings, and he also allocates time for following up. You'd be amazed how many CEOs I speak to who tell me they don't have time to plan, and this lack of preparation is why they then spend their days highly reactive, bouncing between problems and dealing with issues without any real thought. It's also why they waste their days in meetings and tasks that aren't actually a good use of their time. By taking time to properly prepare, though, this is how Mark is able to make every meeting count. He can ask great questions, give clear directions to his team, and ensure that every agenda and discussion is aligned with Meta's core objectives. And I know that planning isn't the most glamorous of tasks, but it's also one of the actions that can have the greatest impact on your performance as a leader. This is why Mark allocates time every single day to properly plan and prepare before he spends his afternoons in meetings and working on operational tasks. Mark is also a big believer in protecting his evenings to disconnect from work and reconnect with his family. And he does so by making sure that he's available to have dinner with his wife and kids. This for him is also a moment to pause, reflect, and realign. And it's no doubt been a big contributing factor to how he sustained momentum and longevity. Because for so many CEOs and leaders, this is the area of life that they struggle with the most. As with so much on their plate, it always feels like something has to give. I've had so many conversations with CEOs who are burnt out and exhausted, often to the point that they're questioning whether or not the sacrifices are actually worth it. But if you look at top CEOs like Mark and others in the series like Jeff Bezos or Larry Page, they all believe in prioritizing this area of their life. The reason they're able to do it, though, is they focused on building amazing teams. They're highly intentional with their time, and they also put boundaries in place. This is how they've been able to build some of the biggest companies in the world while also prioritizing the areas of their life that matter to them the most. And I know that it's hard, especially when you have big goals and ambitions and you have so many competing priorities that need your attention. But the reality is, if you're barely sleeping, not looking after yourself, and your relationships are falling apart, it's going to massively impact your business's success, because neglecting all of these areas can drain your energy, distract your focus, and negatively affect everything from your productivity to your decision making and your performance. This is why, to take it a step further, Mark also prioritizes sleep, as he knows that high performance starts with recovery, and he ensures he's getting at least 8 hours of rest every night. His diet is also mostly clean, and with an active lifestyle, he's talked about consuming around 4,000 calories a day, as this fuels his intense workouts and also gives him the energy he needs to be productive throughout the day. So there you have it. That's an overview of Mark Zuckerberg's daily routine. Some of the biggest lessons you can take away from this are, firstly, to minimize decisions wherever possible to protect your bandwidth and free up the brain power for what really matters. Two is to make physical fitness a priority, as it builds discipline, energy, and mental resilience. Three is guard your time fiercely. Use your mornings to prioritize your top level tasks and make sure that you're taking time to prepare, whether it's for meetings, conversations, or anything else that you need to get done each day. Always have a clear plan so that you know exactly what you need to do. And finally, figure out what matters most outside of work, whether it's your family, health, or time for yourself, and put in the right boundaries and non-negotiables to make sure that you protect that time. Mark is a masterclass of balancing innovation with intention and ensuring us that success is built not just on what you do, but on how you choose to live every single day. With that being said, what are your biggest takeaways from his routine and how he manages his time? Share them in the comments below. On my channel, I've got a variety of content breaking down the daily routines and leadership lessons of top CEOs. So I'll link some at the end, but check out the channel so that you can see the rest. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss future videos. If you want to take this a step further, you can also grab a copy of my book, The Effective CEO 2.0, using the link in the description of this video, where I'm going to show you how to take control and become more effective in your role. I've been Byron Morris, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.